Manu Majumdar, Shri Manish Agrawal, Chair, FICCI Skill Development Committee and Vice Chair, Team Lead Services Private Limited. Mr. Zhao from China, who is the head of web technology for the 45th World Skills Competition. We have Colonel Arun Chandel, who is again preparing India for India Skills Competition from NSDC, and Mr. S.K. Sinha, who is head Maruti Suzuki Training Academy. 2019 was a very special year for India as far as the skilling ecosystem was concerned, because that was the year when we bagged quite a few medals at the World Skills Competition in Kazan. And FICCI had felicitated the winners at the hands of the then Union Minister for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship at the World Youth Skills Day on 15 July 2019. And from then, we've been every year observing this World Youth Skills Day and trying to felicitate winners, champions, and give them a platform to share their experiences out here. In fact, this year, today, in this session, we have 4 young champions who will be sharing their experience. How did they go about preparing for the India Skills Competition, BRIC Skills Challenge, World Skills Competition. And this session is being broadcasted live on the FICCI Bike platform, of course, YouTube channel. So to kickstart the session, I would request Shri Arun Chawla Ji, Director General, FICCI, to deliver his welcome remarks, please. Over to you, sir.
Has the secretary joined? I'm not able to see him.
He'll join little late, is what we've been kind of informed.
Okay, okay. So we'll welcome him later. So thank you, Rajesh. Mr. Zhao, lecturer at Shanghai Information Technology College and China's expert for web technologies of the 45th World Skills Competition and Workshop. Mr. Manish Agrawal, Chair, FICCI Skill Development Committee and Chairman and Co-founder, Team Leads Services Limited. Mr. Sanjay Shivnani, Co-Chair, FICCI Skill Development Committee and Joint President, Technical Education and HTU, Hindalco Industries Limited. Colonel Chandel, Senior Head, Central Ministries, World Skills India at National Skill Development Corporation. Mr. S.K. Sinha, Head of Maruti Suzuki Training Academy, Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Dignitaries and stakeholders from skill development ecosystem, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the participants to the World Youth Skills Day celebration organized by FICCI. We are privileged we will be having the Honorable Secretary very soon. But I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Zhao, lecturer of Shanghai Information Technology College, and other distinguished speakers who have joined us for the event. Ladies and gentlemen, skill development of the human resources is key to confront the challenges posed by changing business models and labor market. It helps in ensuring equality of opportunity and promoting social cohesion. In the long term, skills development is also essential for meeting other challenges such as globalization, climate change, advances in automation and artificial intelligence. On 15th of July 2015, the first ever World Youth Skills Day was celebrated, and it was on this momentous day that the Honorable Prime Minister launched the Skill India Mission, the National Skill Development Mission, the National Skills Policy, and the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Since then, we celebrate the World Skills Day every year and renew our commitment towards constantly improving the skill development ecosystem in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, by all parameters, India is set to witness transformation in youth skills. To realize the potential of our demographic dividend, the stakeholders need to work in tandem for formulating suitable policies and adapting to the rapidly evolving labor markets. Education and training systems also need to take advantage of new education technologies and give greater attention to digital skills. New investments are required to be infused for expansion in education, training, and reskilling of workers to support economic growth. The digitization of learning and training could create further opportunities for future entrepreneurs in the design and development of new products, thereby making digital learning more accessible. Last but not the least, the workers and young people need to proactively upgrade their skills or acquire new ones through training, education, and lifelong learning to remain employable and maintain sustainable livelihood. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have with us young talents like Aswath and Mohit, the medalists of previous World Skills Competition. They have become the shining beacons of India while relentlessly conveying the message of making skills aspirational. I also convey my best wishes to Advait and Anushri, who are undergoing training for the World Skill Competition 2022. So this year, the United Nations theme for World's Youth Skills Day is Transforming Youth Skills for the Future. And the journey of these youngsters highlights how skills, future skills, and youth can bring an overall fillip to our technical and vocational education and training ecosystem. FICCI will, of course, continue to engage with all the stakeholders to effectively augment the skilling ecosystem of the countries. With these words, I welcome you once again to celebrate the World Youth Skills Day and wish the ensuing deliberations a success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the insights and building the context for today's session. So I would request our chairperson, Mr. Anish Agarwal, to deliver his theme address, please. Over to you, Mr. Agarwal.
Thank you, Rajesh. It's a pleasure to be here. The youth always gets shortchanged in the world, right? Because the youth don't have a place at the policy table. We chose to not listen to them about the environment. We very often decide about education without listening to the youth because we don't let them drive till 18 and we don't let them vote till 21. There's no such thing as poor people. There are only people in 4 places. And there are 6 poor places. The country you live in, the state you live in, the city you live in, the sector you work, the firm that you work, and the skill that you have. So 3 of these places are geographic, and 3 of these places are not geographic, right? I mean, so an electrician who works in Patna moves to Bangalore gets 4 times more salary. If the same electrician, once she moves to Zurich or Switzerland, will get 20 times more salary. The same person, the same productivity, in fact, sometimes also the same skill, right? But so obviously the country really matters. Obviously the state in which you're in really matters, and the city. But I think more and more, given work from home means work from anywhere, at least in cognitive businesses, the arbitrage between is coming down. As the talent cloud becomes a reality, H-1B visas, which were visas which software programmers got to go to the US, will become much less relevant. So if you're working from home in a rich country, you might as well work from anywhere. So I think the overall opportunity for youth is very different in the labor market than it was 20 years ago or 40 years ago. I think the world is their playground. I think the number of firms which have the productivity to offer higher wages for higher skills obviously has increased all over the world. So I would suggest, while youth unemployment numbers in rich countries always tend to disappoint, but I think unemployability is a bigger problem than unemployment. And that shows up in the wages of youth across sectors, across firms, and across skills. And there is a nature of the world changing also, right? Because a good plumber or a good electrician is 5 times better than a bad one. A good software programmer is 50 times better than a bad one. A good salesperson is 70 times better. So I think the wage premium for skills in the past, and many people in corporate India and in educational institutions across the region say that, well, the problem with skill development for youth is the wage premium doesn't exist, or the signaling value of certification does not exist. But I think in the next 10, 20 years, as some of the youth on the panel today, or many of people listening, the wage premium for skills will increase. So, it really is a unique time to be thinking about skills as the barriers between education and unemployment get broken all over the world. Obviously, in India, we have the NEP 2020, which is our education policy, which wants to eradicate these artificial barriers between education and employability, which have really held employability back, but have also sabotaged education. The world has produced more graduates in the last 40 years than the 800 years before that. So it's very important to recognize that 60% of taxi drivers in Korea now have a college degree, 31% of Walmart checkouts and clerks in the US have a college degree, 15% of high-end security guards in India have a college degree. So college is very important. All of us went to it and we will send our kids. But the artificial barrier between the college world and the skill world is hopefully going to go away because of technology, because of policy makers recognizing that those artificial barriers were toxic. And of course, just youth recognizing that more important than the signaling value of a degree is the wage premium of the job that you do. So it's wonderful that FICCI is organizing this. I think this day commemorates the future. Most of us on this panel are the past. And hopefully we will recognize that the currency of the 21st century is skills. It is not knowledge, it is not degrees, it is not the way we defined education, but it really is skills. So to all the young people, good luck and Godspeed as you finish the task that our generation didn't.
Thank you, Mr. Sabharwal, for your incisive comments. As always, you've been very vocal and loud and very distinct and care about employability versus the employment problem. And wage premium is something that you've been very vocal about right from the start. And going forward, of course, the way NEP and other things kind of come up, we would certainly see a world where we would have the skill sets as the predominant reason for defining a workforce as opposed to the degrees. So you've been very articulate and very clear in all our previous engagements. And going forward, we hope that it happens. Yeah, so we move on to the next speaker, and we have a special guest from China, Mr. Zhao, who happens to be, of course, a lecturer at Shanghai Information Technologies College and has been an integral part of the big skills competition that is happening there, the 45th skills competition, and you've been managing the web technology part of it. So over to you, Mr. Zhao, for your special address.
Thank you. Distinguished minister, chairman, leaders, and guests, dear experts and their competitors, youth skilled candidates, good morning. Since 2015, we celebrate the World Youth Skill Day globally. It is my great honor to be invited to today's event. Thank you for the invitation. I come from Shanghai, which is China's international economic, financial, trade, shipping, scientific, and technological innovation center. I worked for Shanghai IT College, which is a vocational school. Although in such kind of big city, getting a university education and preparing their children for higher value jobs, such as finance, is what most families prefer. But in recent years, with the rise of high-end manufacturing and the service industry, it has made highly skilled talents more and more popular in society. I am quite sure the situation in India will be about to the same. As young skilled people, we need to be prepared for this trend. I have participated in the World Skill Competition since 2011. At that time, I am 29 years old. Although I'm no longer a youth according to WHO, UNESCO, and the ILO regulations, but according to the definition of UN Habitat, and as in China, I'm still belong to youth people at that time. So first, allow me to talk about the importance of work skill competition for the skills of young people, for the perspective of former youth. I was the interpreter for skill number 17, the web technologies, which former name is web design, for 3 times. That is 41st, 42nd, and 43rd work skill competition. Later, I was appointed as the head coach and expert for Team China. And then I applied for the workshop manager for work skill competition 2022 in order to serve all the friends all over the world. I've grown and learned a lot during these years. In my opinion, most of the work skill competition skills represent the latest trends in the development of today's industry and the best practice for each of them. For example, we use HTML5 and CSS3 for the first time in web design competition in 2013. Google didn't even have a complete specification at that time. And nowadays, it's a well-known industry standard. And the Korean competitors use a lot of flat designs in his works. And 1 month later, Apple released their iOS 7, which features a flat UI. And now the trend is sweeping the world. And relative to domestic competition, the advantages of work skill competition is the comprehensive rules, its fairness and transparency and sustainability. Secondly, I have seen the growth of young skilled people in work skill competition. Work skill competition focuses on skills, but also focus on general abilities. If you want to get high score in the competition, you can't just train your skills mechanically. You need to have strength capacity to solve all kinds of emergent problems during the competition. You need to after practicing in work skill competition, 2 Chinese competitors from our skill stayed in their colleges as teacher or coach. And the 3 of them was employed by first-line internet companies such as Tencent. Especially one of them come from a poor family. He managed to change his life by himself. The same goes for a lot of foreign competitors. So it's a pity that we have to cancel World Skills Shanghai 2022 due to the pandemic, but we still need to pay close attention to the impact of the epidemic on economic development and industrial restructuring, especially for our youth people. Last but not least, I want to send all the Youth Skilled Talent Award. That is Master Skills Change the World from World Skills Shanghai 2022. Hope to meet you all in BRICS competition and World Skills 2024. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zhao. Thank you so much for your remarks. We'll now move on to Colonel Arun Chandel, who happens to be Senior Head Central Ministries World Skill India at NSDC. Over to you, Colonel Chandel, for your special presentation.
Thank you, Rajesh. And it was really wonderful to join this August gathering and very enlightening to hear Mr. Chawla and Mr. Sabharwal too. There's a great degree of connect what we see today from National Skill Development Corporation and what FICCI is actually involved with. We today are at the World Youth Skills Youth Day, and that also commemorate with the some last-minute decisions which have been propagated by the World Skills International. So, for some of you who are not actually aware with the background for a minute, India joined World Skills in 2007 when it was looked after by CII, and NSDC took over in 2011. From 2011 till today, we have improved and graduated in countries' position from 39 to 13. With 2019, which was some time back, spoken with 1 gold medal and a silver, 2 bronze, and 15 medallions. It was one of the fantastic position India ever acquired in world skill competition. We had 44 skills competing in that. And water technology was newly introduced, and India got the first, and the boy had come out from C.V. Raman Institutes. Now, look at the journey we had, specifically with the formation of our Honorable Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and currently under the leadership of Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, who is a very enthusiastic man as far as the skills are concerned. We have graduated from 5,000 registration to 250,000 registration in precisely 3 years in 2019. And today, I am proud to say that when we prepare to embark for the World Skills International, the competition starting from the 3rd of September and getting over on 27th of November, it is taking place in 12 countries, 15 countries, 25 cities, and where India is embarking again 61 skills, which are being part of the World Skills. We are participating in 52 skills, which are taking place in 12 countries and 20 cities. And the cities are all along the Europe, also Japan, a standalone skill like welding in Lincoln's in USA, and majorly most of the skills are happening in Switzerland, Germany, Korea, France, Finland, Austria, Japan, Italy, Sweden, Luxembourg, Denmark, and USA. Now, the fascinating point is that having concluded the India skills from 6th of January this year to 10th of January in Delhi, when the Delhi was under a lockdown condition. And we were not allowed to have visitors or the observers, but we could create a world-class platform to conduct the skills. And from that day to today, 200 industries, most of them with your organization, have come forward, contributed almost 15 crores of rupees worth of training material, expendables, sparing their experts. And we started the journey with 192 competitors who were the winners of India Skill 2021-22. Today we are with the finalists after having gone through the 3-level test in this industry conducted by the expert, and there are 58 competitors. That is 52 skills. 2 skills have 6 pairs. These skills are conducted in pairs. So the total number of competitors. Now, not to end at this point. Even the experts, the industry has been we are so grateful to the industry that they have spared their best people. You name a person from north to south, whether it is Maruti, Suzuki, Lincoln, any kind of known GTTI, NTTF, GTTI Combatur, C.V. Raman Institute, SDIs, and number of academia which have joined her with us, Pearl Academy, Lawrence. I mean, there is nobody left whom we know in the skill ecosystem who has not come forward to support. And our first team of the mechatronics leaves on the 3rd of September to participate in Germany. This skill is being done by Toyota, Bangalore. It is also very heartening to see the kind of support we are getting from FICCI, and a lot of people are coming forward what we can do for you. Today, instead of having the entire set of competitions under one roof, we are going to manage our teams at 12 countries, having 20 locations. And most of the skills are happening at the same time. It's a bit Herculean task, but not difficult. We are keeping the numbers of managers and others low, but the observers are welcome at any time, so that the taxpayers' money is not unnecessarily spent on to and fro travels of the people who are just there for the purpose of witnessing. However, the media buzz coverage, it's very heartening to tell you that on the conclusion of India Skills, when it was done under a total lockdown and closed condition under the direction of Delhi Disaster Management Agency, we could get 9.2 crores impression on print and social media. Print media was 500 and rest was the social media. That is the kind of coverage. So that's the kind of skill outreach we look forward to at the end of this thing. And India hopes to improve its position if in first 8, if not in first 4. So with that, I look forward to your support from the industry, and lots of blessings from each one of you who will give us a goosebump to come up to expectation of the country and let our flag flying. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Chandel. In fact, NSDC is one of the critical partners in ensuring that the requisite ecosystem for skilling in India is attained. And India is going global in the form of World Skills Competition and this Skills Challenge, and NSDC unequivocally is playing a very, very important role. And as FICCI, we've been partnering with NSDC in this space, and going forward, we look forward to more of such engagements and ensuring that we are able to create that ecosystem. The Kazan was a watershed year, we would say. That was a time when there was buzz around the country as far as skilling in the skilling ecosystem was concerned in India, in terms of India performing and showing itself at the world stage. So going forward, we see more of such opportunities and engagements with NSDC, ensuring that this journey is fulfilled more excitedly. With these words, I would now request Mr. S.K. Sinha, who happens to be from Maruti, and Maruti is another big corporate entity, partner, industry that has been that has extended massive support, in ensuring that the students and potential candidates who go and participate at such competitions are trained and trained well. So would request Mr. Sinha to share his experience and remarks. Now over to you, Mr. Sinha. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Respected dignitaries and dear esteemed audience, it's my privilege to be a part of this program today on the eve of World Youth Skill Day. Since I come from the auto industry, so I'll be sharing more about the perspective of the skill building in line with the Skill India mission. But first, let me share about the perspective on the economy. I think India as a country has been growing at a rate of 7 to 7.5% GDP, and it is expected to grow further. Today, we are at a $2.8 trillion economy, and I believe going forward, to take it at a faster pace, the youth has to play a very, very vital role in this economy. Today, if you look at around 25% of our youth is in the range bracket of 15 to 29 years of age. But at the same time, there is a challenge that there is an unemployment, and also the skills which are available. There is a difference between the requirement of the corporate and the education and the boys and the girls who are coming to the corporate. So there is a mismatch currently. But I believe going forward, the industry has to take a step forward to make these skills, and not only the current skills, but also the skills of the future. Because after the COVID times, and especially during the COVID times, we have seen the change in these skills happening. The mindset moving from the physical skills towards the digital skills. There are technology change. So in the auto industry also, I think there's a shift which is going to happen from the IC engine to the EV. So one side, there's a new technology. Other side, there's a digital. and how we can help the youth in terms of aligning their efforts to get all these new skills. If I share about the automotive perspective, so it is one of the largest job provider, and 7% of the entire GDP is contributed by the auto sector alone. Also, as per the report, it is going to grow up to 12% by 2026. And by this time, around 65 million jobs in the entire auto sector, auto component, backward and forward, is going to be created. So that's a huge employment opportunity which is going to be there for the youth, this country. Maruti Suzuki being a leading car manufacturer in India, we have to compete with all the global car companies in the world. And that's where the quality, safety, innovation is going to play a very, very critical role. And now, as a part of our responsibility, if we have to compete, we have to produce the best at the least cost and to sell in the market. And that's where we encourage our young youth, not only our employees, but also all the people available in the entire system and ecosystem to build their skill. And especially in the areas of, there are 3 areas. One is the auto body paint, second is the auto body repair, and third is the automotive service. We are trying to build the skills of the employees in these areas, and also we'd like to encourage these employees to showcase their skills in different skill level competition. Now let me talk about the journey in line with the Skill India mission. The steps which Maruti has taken. The first, along with the DGT, we have collaborated and we are providing the learning and the earning opportunity both to the students. And these are the students who are not given just theoretical training in Maruti, but also they are working on the soft floor. And that's where their skill building is happening, not just in Maruti Suzuki, but also across the value chain in our vendor company. So that is one area. The second area where we are working extensively is at the dealership. Because retail sales is one area where we need a lot of employees, skilled employees in terms of the sales. And we have more than 2,000 dealerships across the cities in our country. And there's a huge requirement which is going to be, and not just in Maruti Suzuki, in the entire auto space, these are the skills which are going to be very, very helpful. So we had tied up with a lot of universities where we provide 3 years program. The first year is at the university, and then the next 2 years is the hardcore job at the dealership. At the end of the 3 years program, these employees get the employment in our dealership, or maybe in some other dealership or some other auto companies. So that's area number 2. The third major area where we are working extensively is along with the ITI. So now, considering the gap between the education and the skill, we had, a lot of programs to build the skills of the ITI students. And there, it is not just the technical skill. And I will take this opportunity to recall the statement of our chairman, Sri R.C. Bhargava-san. And he says, it is not just the technical skill. That means not just, teaching them how to operate the machine and how to maintain the machine, but equally important to teach them on the cost consciousness part, on the innovation part, on the mindset part. That's where, real skill development comes into the picture. And that's where these people can become global. So that's the third area we are working. The fourth area with respect to the diploma engineers. So we have tied up with the Haryana government, the Polytechnic College, and tool and die is one such niche skill which is not here in India, and we are depending on outside. So that's where we are building the skills of the diploma employees and also helping them so that they can be observed in our vendor companies. So that's another skill. Now, driver training skills is another area we are working with the Haryana government. And with all these kinds of mission, I think our objective is very clear. We want to build these skills, not for today only, but also for the future. Adding to this, we have tied up with the Japan government, where we have established gym institutes, where again we provide the ITI training. this is a blend of the theory as well as the practical program at the Maruti Suzuki premises. Now, this skill building is not just enough. I think Skill India or World Skill is one such platform where we also need to showcase the skills we have in our country. And that's where we motivate the employees, especially the youth, to participate in this program. But to do that, we take a lot of effort in terms of their preparation. So not just helping them with respect to the technical trainers, providing them the support, asking them to find out the defect, then evaluation, and then also in terms of giving the feedback, and then it goes on and on. And that's where we prepare these young talents to participate. But again, this is a technical skill. Also, we have this time, provided them a coach who can help in terms of their mental agility, make them strong enough to participate at highest level of the competition. That's where their physical fitness, mental fitness is going to be very, very critical. So this is a part of our journey to build the skills, encourage those youth, seeing them others can be motivated. And that's where I think the mass can be, produced, like we produce the cars, the talent can be produced, the skill can be produced. But again, the future is uncertain and COVID has taught us. So maybe I think as per the report, 33% of the current skills which are going to be disappear in the next 10 years. And that's where we need to, add some new skills, train them on the new technology, train them on the new mindset. And that's where the learnability, agility is going to be very, very critical for these employees. So Maruti is committed as a corporate, as a responsible corporate. I think we have full commitment and full supports towards the Skill India mission and towards the world skills. So thank you all very much, and wish you all the success to all the students in terms of these skills and the future skills. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sinha. I know Maruti has been a conspicuous player in this whole space of preparing our kids to face the world stage. Yeah, so we'll now move on to our young champions. And we would start with Mr. Mohit Dudeja, who would share his experience as to how he went about having silver medal at World Skills Competition 2017 in bakery. Over to you, Mohit.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. It's lovely, listening to everyone's piece. And I was told I'm here to share my journey, what happened, and what I'm doing right now. It was, World Skills was a great time. It's been 2017, 5 years now, and it did, really change my perspective of how, what I wanted to be in life. From having no goal back in say 2015 to suddenly realizing pastry was something I was interested in, and eventually ending up participating at World Skills. So the whole journey was really nice. Then mentorship was a great experience, having someone at the back of you telling you what to do, how to deal with problems. That was also great. Then post World Skills, it was I always wanted to get into entrepreneurship, and I started off in Rishikesh, which was I was looking for since I'd learned French pastry, I wanted that sort of market for myself, and Rishikesh was one place. It was we was a solely foreigner run business, so that was one gig which we eventually had to wrap up after COVID. Then I moved back home, and I've started another venture, another pastry shop, which is in my hometown in Sonipat, Haryana. And it's been great. We're going to complete 1 year in, I think, 10 days now. And it's been great. It's working out well. Pretty much, I think the whole thing which World Skills did for me was to help me realize that, independence was the way to go. And it, otherwise I would have never been able to start a business, but it really completed the entire ecosystem of pastry, where otherwise I would have, I'd have worked for say 10 years to learn the entirety of skills, which was, taught to me within 2 years. So that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you for sharing your experience. I mean, look at this, the kind of impact that such competitions, such forums provide, and you are a bright example in that, getting into entrepreneurship right away. We'll move on to our next speaker, Ashwath. Of course, 2019, again, I go back, and this was the time when Ashwath was an India hero when we had him facilitated at FICCI. And then Ashwath, please share your experience. I know you've had other competitions post that. So how has the journey been, and how have you actually traversed the entire journey? Is something that we would want to hear out from you. Over to you, Ashwath.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. I hope I'm audible.
There you are.
So my journey at WorldSkills has been quite a experience of learning, and it helped me a lot to grow personally and professionally. Today, I am where I am because of WorldSkills, I believe. And it all started when I was doing my bachelor's in engineering. So I came across this competition, and I have always been fascinated by the technology and the elements around it. I had this great interest in automation, and I have trained in industrial automation at my college during my bachelor's. And when I have came across this skill called water technology, I have seen that there was something in for me in that. And then there was a lot that I was not aware of about that skill, and then I had to gain knowledge in those areas. And initially, it was I was a newcomer to that particular area, but then slowly I have learned a lot. And at the national competition, I have won the gold medal. But after that, it was almost a year up until WorldSkills competition, and 1 year of preparation. And I have been to Germany for international training, and there I have got to see what's the scope of this skill. And I have interacted with experts from different countries, and this experience has I have learned a lot from that as well. But and coming to the WorldSkills part, and it's a once in a lifetime experience for me. I have competing at WorldSkills, representing the country. It's a great opportunity. And winning the gold medal for the country is like a moment that I will cherish for a long time to come. And after the competition, my achievement has been recognized widely, and I have been felicitated by various organizations, which includes FICCI. But talking about WorldSkills, I would say, like as WorldSkills competitions are like a gold standard for the skills and excellence. They help young people to pursue their passion and turn it into a profession, and it helps them reach new heights. I think that's the motive of the WorldSkills International Organization. And as it's the Olympics of skills, and especially in training, qualifying, and competing at the WorldSkills competition equals to 4 to 5 years of professional training experience. So that says a lot about what the competitors go through in in training for the competition. And yeah, today my journey at WorldSkills and this experience has led me to pursue my master's in Germany. Currently, I'm pursuing master's in water resources engineering and management. If not for competing at WorldSkills, especially in the skill of water technology, I would not have seen this. I would not have taken this direction in my career, because I'm an electronics and instrumentation engineer, and yeah, water is a very new thing for people coming from that background. So for me, since water is the world's most critical resource, and the importance and occupation of those who fulfill the quality of it, I think is second to none. And if I am able to contribute in my own strengths to make it better, I would be very glad. And I think that's one of the reason I have taken up to pursue career in this field. Yeah. And I also recently got to hear about the WorldSkills special edition competition, and I would like to wish all the best to the competitors. Few of them are here today, and I believe they will bring more glory this time to India. And yeah, I hope they all enjoy the experience more than winning and losing. That's what matters. And I think all my colleagues who have come to Kazan and participated, irrespective of the results, I think they all have had similar experiences to share, and it must have been quite a great experience of learning for them as well. And yeah, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ashwath. So now we'll have Anushri. So you've been preparing hard, working hard for the forthcoming WorldSkills competition 2022. Share your experience, Anushri.
Thank you so much. First of all, it's my pleasure to be here, and very good afternoon to everyone. I would like to start with talking about a little bit about myself, because I have been into the hotel industry from past 2 years, and growing up I never thought I would be here where I am right now, because there's been a lot of turns and twists which has taken in my life. I've been keep on changing my I kept my entire mind open, and I would always think about, oh, I should do something which I'm good at. I should find what I'm passionate about. And that is when I went to my graduation, I actually found that hotel industry is something which is my forte. And special thanks to the WorldSkills competition. It started when again when I was in my graduation in 2019. I did not know much about India skills the moment when I applied it, because I was not aware of it firstly. And then when I applied for it, I went through the website of WorldSkills, and then I saw how huge it is. I looked at the videos and all the photographs of the previous competitions which had happened, which was something which intrigued me a lot. I wanted to make sure that I have to do whatever it takes and learn whatever I can in order for me to go represent the country in an international level platform. So I started preparing for myself, and I made sure that I went for all the competitions when I was in Chennai back then. But unfortunately, the COVID happened, and by 2020, I was not sure. I was very skeptical that whatever is happening, will it go further? Because there was no news, and I was wondering, will there be a competition, or will there be something which I would be able to go represent? And I was busy. Meanwhile, I was busy working in my hotels. I had cleared various interviews in my placements, so I worked with big companies, and currently I am with one of the big companies. And in so far, I have worked in more than 5 hotels under the hotel reception itself. And when I talk about August 2021, that's when I came to know that we are resuming the skill competition again. And I cannot put in words how excited I was that, okay, it's starting again. So I made sure that I could manage my work and my training and my competition, everything all together. It was exhausting at a point of time because I had to attend my trainings, and I had to make sure that I'm giving my 100% at my work as well. But I believe that it's given me fruitful results because I won golden regionals, I had won golden nationals, and now after the selection test I will be now representing my country in the World Skills Special Edition 2020 under the hotel reception skill itself. Uh, when I look at the journey, I cannot tell you how much I was afraid, because every time the competition happens, I give a pep talk to myself that I can do this. I have trained myself. All this time, I have taken knowledge from different people, different hotels, and NSDC also has given me my chief expert. He is from another hotel, another brand. So in past 3 years I worked in 3 different brands, and I've learned a lot from all the 3 of the brands, which is helping me be wherever I am right now. I am constantly right now, I am again in the same position. I am working, I am training, and I am preparing for my competition. But I am happy with the extra steps I'm taking, because I know that one day whatever I'm doing would be because of what I have done, and I would be fruitful because of this. It I just believe that if you're willing to give all what you have to learn something and be best at it, then we just have to make up your mind and do it. There were times when I was very much stressed that how am I going to handle a lot of pressure at this age, because people keep telling me you're just 22, how are you going to handle everything all together, just do one at a time. But the opportunity I have right now, I cannot do one at a time. I have to make sure that I balance all my career and my competitions and everything simultaneously. And I've been able to do it. I've been able to make it till now because of the constant support I've been getting from NSDC and my company I work for, to be flexible with my schedule so that I don't miss out on anything. And as far as I think about going ahead and representing India in World Skills 2022, I am very much excited. I just want to make sure that when I go there, I give 100% of mine, and I do justice to the skills I've learned so far. And it was very new for me to actually think about having hotel reception skill as a competition, because it is very rare that you come across some such kind of competitions. And when I tell people about it, they are also very much intrigued about asking me more, how does this happen, what do you do in the competition. And when I explain them the competition, when the competition gives me the situations and everything, it's equivalent to the duty manager at a hotel. So which is very complex, and the situation handling, again, there is a lot of mental pressure which goes across. But it's just I've been told again by my trainers that I have to stay strong, and I have to be mentally prepared, even though my skill is not physically as tiring as it is for others, but mine would all depend upon the mental strength I have. And that is why I've been working on uh, keeping myself calm and composed. I work on various activities which would help me make me a better person at a stressful situation. Um, I would like to thank by telling that that I am very much grateful for this platform for Fiki as well, that you've given me uh, a platform to speak about what I've been going through so far and how I'm looking forward to represent India in World Skills. And
That's it from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anushree. Thank you. So we have with us Mr. Agarwal. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Agarwal. This is Arun Chawla at General FICCI. I'm delighted to welcome you. I appreciate the constraint that you had in joining earlier. So welcome, please, sir, and congratulations on the World Skills Day. Maybe sort of listen to your visionary address.
I will just thank you, Arunji, and I was happy to listen to the young girl speaking just before me and very enthusiastic to represent the country. And so best wishes to her and all the youth associated with this program right now, online and offline.
Right. I'm sure they will feel inspired by your presence now.
Yeah. So we are solidly behind them, and this is like basically the world skills competition is like Olympic of skills, and it's very good to see India doing better and better in every competition in last 8-9 years. See, 2-3 points. I will just share 2-3 broad thoughts, not a really visionary address, but whatever I have seen in last 7-8 months in my interaction with all the industry bodies and all the sector skill councils and all the youth in skills across the country. One, I am lucky that frankly, my phone number is quite widely circulated amongst all the ITI students and many PMKVY students. And these kids today are very confident. They don't hesitate at even calling me at 11 o'clock. And my wife also has sort of given me free hand. कि ठीक है, बच्चे का phone है तो आप उठा लेना. कभी भी आए. So that is my job.
That shows how popular you are and how people feel inspired while talking to you.
And so, see, getting direct feedback from kids is very important. And kids, as I was saying, they are not hesitant. That bodes very well for the country. They are extremely confident, and they openly tell me, "course बहुत ही बेकार है. इससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. इसके syllabus है, इसे change करो." So that's good part. And frankly, the in the last week, the media was full of population statistics, and India is a youthful nation, so we call it demographic dividend, which basically means the number of working hands is more than the number of dependents, very broadly. And in next year we will become the most populous nation in the world. Earlier it was supposed to be 28, now in 23 we will surpass China. In 2050 we will be probably 1.6 billion and China will be 1.3 billion.
Wonderful.
So, and we talk of Amrit Kal and 100 years of independence. So 2047, the country will basically be at the peak of this demographic dividend. Out of 5.5 billion population working at that time, 1.2 billion, almost 22%, will be from India. So the opportunities for youth are going to grow in next 25 years. The global opportunities will be available. The world is getting older. So our youth are in demand globally also. But at the same time, we have all to work together, industry and the regulatory bodies and everyone, to ensure that the youth of this country find enough opportunities. So the demographic dividend has to remain a demographic dividend. It should not become sort of frustrating for the kids, and that will be then a bad part. So we have to ensure that our economy keeps on running well, our regulation, ease of business, those things keep on running well. And at the same time, our education and skilling system, it does a fair job to the youth. So we have to ask hard questions. Is our education making our youth employable? And so what changes are required in the skills and education? So as a skills secretary, my sort of ask from everyone around is that skilling should be aspirational. The society has to basically sort of give lesser weightage to the degrees and higher ways to the skills. And that's one part. And luckily now we have the same minister and Dharmendra Pradhan ji and skill and education are working together for unified credit framework and giving sort of equal respect to the skills. The new education policy says that 6 to 8, the kids will have 10 bagless days. When they will not take their bag full of books to the school, they will be exposed to the world of work. पास में कोई एग्रीकल्चर फार्म है, कोई डेयरी फार्म है, कोई फैक्ट्री है, कोई आर्मी कैंटोनमेंट है, बैंक है. So kids will be exposed to the world of work. And 9 to 12th, the vocational subject should be actually in the top 5 so that every kid actually does some vocational course. Only then in 10 years, we can say that from 2%, 5%, 10% formally skilled workforce, we have reached 40%, 50%, 70% skilled workforce levels. In our skilling system, about 45-50 lakh freshers basically get out of the system every year. In our education system, after 10th or 12th, more than 3 crore kids get out. So if those 3 crore kids every year, they have some formal skill qualification. So that is important. Now only one course has become aspirational, which is the IT or coding skills. So we see more and more kids getting those IT skills. But in the whole workforce, the number of jobs growing all around, job nature is changing. Yes, in IT, hardware, software, new things, IoT, artificial intelligence, lot of job opportunities are there. But there are many other sectors, hospitality, retail, and so many other sectors where new job opportunities are emerging and at various levels. There will be 10,000 rupees jobs, 30,000 rupees a month job, 2 lakh rupees a month jobs. So the whole job range is available in a lot of other sectors, while our kids are only enamored of IT. So when we say software is eating the world, that is directly affecting my ministry also. The kids have aspiration only for certain kind of job roles. So I hope more, and now the kids are actually very intelligent. They know, they study the entire system. They talk to their elders also that what kind of opportunities are there. And basically, parents are also getting around to the fact that बच्चे ज्यादा जानते हैं हमसे. हमारी जनरेशन तक तो पेरेंट्स ही बताते थे आपने ये बनना है. आजकल के बच्चों को बोलो आपने ये बनना है तो बच्चे झगड़ते हैं. That's the correct thing. And 3-4 months back, I attended a virtual seminar. It was some youth event happening in Dubai, and a lot of kids and youth, basically 18 years, 20 years from across the world were participating in that. And the kids were openly saying कि आप बुड्ढों ने हमारा जिंदगी खराब कर दी. अभी भी हमें 20 साल पुरानी चीजें पढ़ा रहे हैं. दुनिया बदल गई है. That was the basic theme. So so the writing is on the wall, and all our regulators and all our bureaucrats and all secretaries are now 55 plus years age. So we have to realize that kids' ambitions are different. They know the world much better than us. And in fact, many companies, when they're designing their products, they're actually asking 10 years kids, 12-year kids, 14-year kids, that what do you like? Many consumption patterns are dictated by kids in the family. So the companies have basically realized this factor. In their all dipstick surveys, market surveys, they ask the kids. In education, somehow we never ask the kids, कि बेटा तुमने क्या पढ़ना है? So those things need to change. In our ministry course curriculum, we do ask the industry. For every course, we ask actually top 30 industries. कि ये course में क्या syllabus करें? But it's high time we start asking the kids also that how do you see the world in next 5 years, 10 years? And actually the kids of today will be deciding how the world looks like. The 15-year kid today, in 15 years, he will be one of the deciding factors, whether in bureaucracy or in industry or wherever. So we have to see that fact. And on World Youth Day, so we have to ensure that we all realize this in society, in our families, in our policies, that youth have to be involved in every decision making. Now in families, we cannot talk down to even a 5-year child. the child has an independent mind. वो question करता है कि मैं ऐसा क्यों करूं. So on Youth Day, that's what our generation of oldies has to accept that and work according to the wishes of the youth and make sure that the world of 10 years, 20 years, it meets their aspirations, not our aspirations. And the youth who are here, I must say the world is changing very fast. The world is very rough. So things are not smooth. And the data in India also says that maybe in first 10 years of life, if you are a job seeker, you might change 3, 4, 5 jobs. You might even change your career switch, not only jobs, you might switch your careers maybe 2, 3 times in your lifetime. So you have to learn to be adaptable. And before COVID, when we were asking any employers, and that's a global phenomenon, when you interview a kid, what do you look at? The answer was confidence, confidence, confidence. कि बच्चे में confidence होना चाहिए, soft skills होने चाहिए. They are as important as hard skills. And after COVID, the answer has changed a little bit. The confidence factor remains there, but it's the ability to unlearn, relearn, learn absolutely new things. Whether you are an existing employee or whether you are a fresher in the job market. So you have to be flexible in mind, and the kids today are flexible in mind, but this is what the job market looks at. Your soft skills also, you have obviously to learn some hard skills, whether you are doing BA, BSc, BTech, MA, or any skilled courses also, but soft skills are important, confidence is important, and the ability to have an agile mind, to unlearn and learn new things. That is very important. So my best wishes to all the youth present here in this seminar, and the old generation, myself, all the older colleagues. We have kids at our home, so we have all realized that voice of the youth has to be learned, and we are your friends, not your parents or teachers. And we all have to work together to ensure a bright future for all of us. Thank you so much.
Mr. Agarwal, I must say it was a very, very enlightening address that you gave, very interesting, a lot of food for thought for all of us. And in fact, we take the cue that all stakeholders have to get together to take advantage of the tremendous opportunities that lay ahead. And we have to take advantage of the dividend that we arise out of the demography that we will see in the near future and till about 2047. You've actually hit the nail on the head when you say that youth has to be consulted for everything that we have to decide about future, because it's their future. And we have to be in line with their aspirations and everything. But let me request our co-chair, Mr. Shivnani, to give a very formal thank you to you.
So we were just left with the last young champion, Advait.
Yeah,
Maybe
the last.
we will just quickly share, and then Shivnani comes in for the vote.
Yes.
Advait, over to you. Yeah?
Advait, yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Advait AJ. I'm participating in Trade Web Technologies for the upcoming World Skills Special Edition 2022. So I'm currently getting trained under Mr. Dhruv Joshi, who is my expert at Design Skills Academy, Pune. So I'm currently a second year BTech student pursuing artificial intelligence. And this is my second attempt at World Skills. And last time I was the runner-up in the nationals. And I was fortunate enough to represent my country in World Skills Asia, conducted in Abu Dhabi last year. So web development has always been my passion. I started coding when I was in 8th. And that was the first time I was introduced to the world of coding by my cousin brother, who at that time was doing his bachelor's in computer applications. And it was puzzling to me that the way you can control everything you see through some few lines of codes. After that, whenever I got like free time, I try to make some random pages with some random functionalities and stuff. It was really fun. And the feeling that you get when you try to solve something for like a long time and you're finally able to do it, yeah, that kept me going. So I started with like basic things and worked my way up, plus my curiosity went up. And now in their skills and world skills, I'm getting trained under NSDC and NASCOM, and They have helped me like in fine tuning my skill sets and deep dive into the coding world. And I thank all the experts and stakeholders for the same. You could say that the people around me were like a huge inspiration to me while growing up. I guess I was surrounded by more, optimistic people. But some people used to ask me like, why don't I spend my time outside playing with other kids? Even though I spend my fair bit of time playing outside, I would much rather, like do what I'm passionate about than find ways to spend time. And never did I know that one day I'll be able to represent my country on this grand platform that is WorldSkills. And overcoming the limitations of the pandemic, the international competition were conducted online, and I was able to win gold medal in Asia Pacific Best Practice Marathon and bronze medal in BRICS skill competition, where the BRICS countries participated: the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And I was able to meet experts from other countries and get to know web development better, and it helped me in the training process really well. And currently now I'm in Pune, for the training with my expert, Mr. Dhruv Joshi. And I would like to thank everyone who was there for me, like my parents, cousins, teachers, friends, and all others. It is a remarkable opportunity that I got this opportunity to represent India on this grand platform. And, knowing that everyone is counting on me, the intense pressure on delivering what you expected. And, the feeling that you get when you are still being able to deliver it, that's really exciting. And I'm really excited for the upcoming WorldSkills Special Edition 2022. The one thing that I would like to say is like, nowadays there are a lot of domains for the youth to choose from, right? So the opportunities for the youth are like more than ever. And we can see like a rise of many prominent industries in India. And we also know that Indians have been a prominent like driving force to the incline of many great companies. But in this day and age, we are seeing like more and more youth going into depression and anxiety. And I guess it's primarily due to, the over expectation that they put towards life. And we can see like a lot of influencers, like online influencers who just, showcase the best part of their life. And we see stories like, people being millionaires at a young age and being famous, selling their companies like a huge market values and etc. But this creates like a feeling among the youth that they are not achieving like others and, they are falling behind. And today's Youth Skills Day, and I would like to take this opportunity to say to all the youths out there that you're never too old or too young to be making a difference. Everyone has their own time to be something. There are great examples of people achieving greatness at the far greater point in their life, and that doesn't make them any less significant. And remember, age is just a number. That shouldn't define who you should be.
On the video. So,
and thank you.
Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, and wish you all the best for your WorldSkills competition 2022 in web technology that you're preparing. We would now request Mr. Sanjay Shivnani to deliver his vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Shivnani.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. It's been a wonderful 80 minutes since we started. My role here today is to deliver the vote of thanks. But before I go into that, I thought I'll step back and sort of summarize some of the things that I've heard today. One is this amazing opportunity that exists for the youth. And Advait, Anushri, Mohit, Ashwath, I think the inspiration, the motivation that comes across, okay, I think that's very important. Our youth must realize that what is the takeaways from our WorldSkill competition winners and participants. I think follow your passion, but before that, discover it, right? There is some curiosity. There are people exploring spaces, different ways, but do find your domain. Do find what you're passionate about. And remember, I think we also heard that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. And we will get shots at the destination various different times at points in time. I think having the courage and the strength of conviction is very important. So to our India skill competition winners, participants, guys, may your tribe increase. I hope our youth who's listening in today, who's been part of this, is taking the inspiration and feeling the energy that all of you have shared here today, your own personal stories. And congratulations, it was very, very heartening to hear your stories. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our distinguished speakers and, of course, our winners and participants. The World's Youth Skills Day is it's one of those events that we put together, and we've done this consistently every year over the last 5 years to sort of continue to propagate that skills is the currency of the 21st century. And while you have broader education, the youth must focus on pinpointing, identifying, and pursuing some skills. And as you would have heard, I think the entire ecosystem is available and ready to support and channelize this passion and this drive. So it's a wonderful event, the World Youth Skills Day. As you know, it was in United Nations General Assembly declared 15th July as the World Skills Day. This happened way back in 2014. I'm happy we are doing it again amid the concerted socioeconomic recovery that we are having post-19 pandemic. I would first and foremost like to thank Shri Rajesh Agarwal, Secretary, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, for taking out time from his busy schedule and giving a lot of food for thought, as Mr. Chawla mentioned. And especially, he did mention, you've got to be adaptive and you have to be agile because the world is changing. Okay. Someone here mentioned that from now, in the next 5 or 10 years, 30% of the skills that were required today will not exist anymore. Okay. And I think Sri Rajesh Ji said that the ability to learn, to unlearn and relearn is going to be very critical as the world changes, and it changes rapidly. Okay, we have seen that how the COVID has changed all of us. We've changed, the workspaces have changed, how we work has changed, many things have changed. I do remember one saying that says the 21st century will belong to those who have the ability to unlearn and relearn. So thank you so much, Rajesh Ji, for giving those thoughts. I think you also mentioned that they have to take charge of their own journey, of their own future, take charge. But I think Rajesh Ji also mentioned that the other parts of the ecosystem must also step up, including us, all of us who are parents, must also step up and allow people to follow their passion. I'd like to thank Mr. Lee Zhao for coming and sharing his thoughts. I think his 2 takeaway points, which is very important for all the youth, is while you pursue your domain skills, please don't lose sight of general abilities, your overall aptitude, attitude, and also your problem-solving abilities and skills. I think that's important besides your hardcore domain skills. So thank you so much, Mr. Zhao, for that. Colonel Arun Chandel shared with us the entire journey and the growth that we have gone through over the last couple of years, from a rank of 39 to 19, 2019 being a phenomenal year for us. And thank you so much. NSDC has supported this right since the beginning. I know I was part of this way back World Skills Competition way back in 2008, 9 or 10 when it started really. So thank you for giving us the updates and the progress. Thank you so much to Sri Sinha for coming and sharing with us how Maruti is contributing to our youth and the skilling of our youth. I think this is another takeaway which Rajesh ji has been telling us, that some parts of the ecosystem have to step up. And I think industry also needs to contribute. So thank you, Mr. Sinha, so much for sharing all of that with us. And of course, once again, thank you to all the youth who are listening in, and particularly our competition, our winners and participants. I'm delighted that we are doing this, and we will continue to propagate this. And like he said, the World Skills is around the corner, 2 months to go. I hope all of you, those of you who are listening in, get enough motivation. If not this year, then pursue it next year. At the end, I'd like to thank our chair, FICCI chair of the Skill Development Committee, Shri Manish Sabharwal, for coming in. Manish has always led the skill initiative or the skill idea, the propagation of skilling amongst youth from the front. And message has always been, it's not about employment, but employability. I think we continue to propagate that, and his clear thought on that the youth must be brought in at the policy table. So I think that's important. Shri Rajesh, they also mentioned this, that we need to bring them in to design our programs and projects. Last but not the least, I think I'd like to thank the FICCI team. It's been phenomenal. This journey has been there for many years. FICCI has been leading the skilling space with policy, advocacy, and support for many parts of the ecosystem. And this has been consistent over many, many years. So thank you so much, FICCI team. And I wish everyone the best of luck. And let's make skills India the skills capital of the world. I think that was articulated many years ago, and we are on that journey. Thank you so much. Back to you, Rajesh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shavnan, for this wonderful wrap-up that you've done. So we come to a formal close of today's session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Agrawal, once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.